As Above, So Below is a two-person show with printmaker Julie Lucey and sculptor Julie Maren. The two of them recently had a conversation about their work, which we will share with you here now. Enjoy! Hi!
Hi!
Hey, we're connected!
We connected! Yay!
So you're in Washington?
I'm in California.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah. And you're Colorado.
Boulder, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, beautiful there.
Yeah, it's snowy today.
Oh, fun.
I know, it just caught me by surprise. We had like 3 inches of snow. Huh.
Yeah.
All right, guess I'm not going to be super gluing
outside. No working outside today. Yeah, we have good weather. I guess it's San Francisco Bay Area, so pretty good weather.
Oh, you are? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
When we, in March, I really just worked at home for the most part for 2 months or so. I could have worked at my studio because I was really the only person. I mean, there were a couple people around, but it was pretty safe, but I really just wanted to stay home. I don't know why. And I worked in the backyard. I mean, a large part of it was the sun, because I'm in a canyon where my studio is, but in my backyard, it was sunny because I'm in the middle of Boulder. And so I had more sunshine, and it's, spring is starting to finally happen. And so I just was like, well, I want to go where the sun is. And so I was working in my backyard, and my neighbors, we have short fences. So my neighbors became my new studio mates. They were just looking over the fence at what I was doing. How do you start a piece? What is your process for sourcing inspiration?
I guess I think just seeing things and saying, just being outside and seeing how a color is interacting with another color, or just seeing a pattern and thinking, okay, I want to try to replicate that kind of pattern. I make etchings, and what I usually do is I make etchings of the plants that I see kind of hiking around my home in California. Things different seasonally, I'll notice certain flowers coming up and I'll make an etching of them. And then traditionally someone would make an edition of their etching. So they would etch the copper plate and then print 25 of them or something. But instead of doing that, I print them on really thin paper. It's a Japanese awagami paper. And then I hand cut all the plants out, and then I kind of collage them into new compositions. So I might use the same plants over and over again in different pieces, instead of them all being completely original. They have the same plants like you would see in nature. So same native plants. Yeah. And then this set of work, because of the pandemic, I had limited access to the studio Kala in Berkeley, where I usually make my etchings. I couldn't get in there quite as much, so I actually did a little bit more painting. So I usually would etch the animals, but I actually kind of like the freedom of that. This time I made paintings of animals to kind of hide in the foliage.
I absolutely love the work that I've seen so far. It's beautiful.
And then tell me about your work. Tell me about your process, how you make large pieces of art out of very small, intricate pieces.
My work is very deeply rooted in collage. I've always been a painter, and I've integrated a lot of collage into my work. And at some point, I really wanted to take my paintings out of squares and rectangles. That became my huge quest. And I started to actually physically cut apart my paintings with a jigsaw and then recollage them onto a larger surface. And basically that exploration is what led to what I'm doing now, because I really wanted to, when I looked at my paintings, I thought wow, there's so many levels of depth there. And I really, I wanted to try to do something that was more physical, because I am a sculptor, and I wanted to have that combination of painting and sculpture, or combine painting and sculpture more. And so that is basically how my installations emerged, was how can I have this physicality and also have collage? And so I wanted to have those layers of depth that were actually real.
And how did that move into, I think, are you using acorns now?
I use acorn tops. I have been doing several, I've been trying some other materials with installation. And so, the acorn tops were, I went to the National Park art residency program. There's a national park art residency program, and so you can go and spend a month at a national park. And so I wrote a proposal to spend a month in Connecticut at a national park, so that I could just really delve into my desire to take my paintings out of squares and rectangles, and how, what that would look like, and just I wanted time and space to do it. And so I literally had nothing to do there, because except for paint and explore, and I took hikes every day in the woods. It was a dream. When I look at my paintings there's circles, there are polka dots, there's like that is a form that you find very often in my paintings. So I just was looking, at that, and then looking at the ground at all these little acorn tops and thinking, wow, those are like little polka dots, and maybe I could take the polka dots out of my paintings. And then one thing led to another. We also went on a trip we visited a couple national parks, and Yellowstone being one of them. And I found just the colors of that, just speaking to the question in general. So yeah, how does color from your surroundings and experiences affect your work?
Well, I think both of us probably experienced this summer. We had insane fires in California. I have never seen so many different colored skies and suns and moons, and the way it reflected off of the plants. There was a day in the San Francisco Bay Area where the sun just didn't rise.
Right.
And it was like the sky was red all day. It was weird. I mean, it was like out of a science fiction movie, that the sky was red the entire day. It was like dusk light for the whole day. The birds we have bird feeders outside. The birds never came to the bird feeders. Everything was just quiet and dark and eerie and spooky. But at the same time, it was like the most beautiful color in the sky. So it's just it's a position of like, the color is beautiful, but it's for horrible reasons. It was scary.
Yeah. I know. I was looking at one of the picture with the painting with the raccoons.
Yes. Yeah.
Red. I recognized that red.
Yeah.
The moon.
Yeah, it's like the moon rose,
right?
Yeah. So the moon rose, the sky was like this indigo purple, insane color, and then the moon was like this dark orangey red, and it was so beautiful. I was trying to take a picture of it. Of course, the camera can't capture it, and it was just the colors were insane. And I was like, I need to make work about this color combination here.
But I know that red moon, and it was so surreal.
Yeah,
it definitely affected my work. And I know that I created pieces that had I've created this blue sky piece that it's all ceramic, and they're raindrops, and I call it Blue Monsoon. At least that's its working title right now. But it was, I was thinking about reflecting the sky back in it with like the past, the sky of the past almost, or hopefully in the future. It was this optimistic blue sky. Which, I just was thinking about like what I miss. And so it was like, I think of the Blue Monsoon as like it was sort of a prayer for rain in a way, but then also like teardrops too. If it functions as both for me. Mm-hmm. And so it was like tears for the world. The colors of nature just like feed my work, and so much. And I see that with your work as well, in terms of the palettes. And I just wonder how much of, non-pandemic or non-disaster nature also feeds your work in terms of the colors.
Color-wise, I think, I mean, even without fire disaster, I feel like I have young children too. It's like, I feel like I've been trying to like get into their fun, anything goes kind of feeling lately, just while we're stuck in the house. I'm trying to keep the optimism going, and I feel like that's kind of given me like free reign with my color also. Like, I feel like I can make a blue lion, or I can make a a green bear or what,
Yeah.
this kind of purple bobcats. It's just, why not? And just play on color. I just love the way colors play together.
Why is nature such an important source of inspiration for you?
I think it's always been what I've made in my art. Like, I feel like I've always drawn animals. I've always drawn plants and flowers. I mean, since I was a kid, and it's my happy place. I think just being outside, it kind of brings my stress level down. It's a little bit escapist from the everyday grind. It's like, I'm gonna make work about. I mean, it's personal. I mean, it makes my work personal in that way. And I know we all, especially people were talking about going outside during the pandemic, and it's like refinding nature. It's like, I think a lot of us are find joy and peace in nature. And I just thought, I'm just gonna make work about it because it's just what resonates with me most and what makes me happiest. And why nature in your art? Is it?
I love this quote by Barbara Kingsolver from the Poisonwood Bible, and I quote it all the time. It's trust in creation because it's made fresh daily and it doesn't suffer in translation. And to me, it just speaks to the honesty of nature. It's the reality. It's the truth of like what really is truth, basically, and what we can trust, and the cycle of the seasons, and just looking to the natural world for as a teacher. And I feel like as humans we're from it, but we're also acting against it. And so I do find that motivates my work to reflect back nature and to remind people, like, no, look at nature is such a great teacher. When we were little, my mom used to always say, like, go around the kitchen table at dinner and say, what are you thankful for? And my brother, without fail, would always say, I'm thankful for the blue sky.
Oh.
And so it's always stuck with me. And I just think about that when I look at the blue sky. And so
thankful for the blue sky too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And those fires made me really thankful for the blue sky when it, and just not wanting to take it for granted again. Your work has so many details. I just imagine people get really lost in it and just like, looking at all the details and nuances. And similarly with my own work, I feel the same way. I just want people to kind of get lost in it. And I've recently come to look at it as the pieces are like almost like meditations, where I invite the viewer to just meditate on the pieces and just kind of look at, like, every time they go look at it, see something new. I did this piece for the show called Silver Linings, which really came out of the pandemic. And, we hear the word silver linings constantly. And I was just thinking, like, well, how can I do a piece that speaks to that theme? Because it just was like, every time I heard the term, I just kept imagining like making an art piece. And so I thought about mica and how it's reflective and how it's a time of self-reflection. And that's why I chose mica for, just to speak to this question for that piece, because it was like a mirror kind of. And I feel like this time is like really thinking about like what's important to us, and our mortality's dangled in front of us.
That's right.
So I think about, like these silver linings that we have to look deeply or look at, our lives, and sometimes the smallest things can become silver linings. It's usually more interesting what people have to say.
Yeah. I think it's nice how people can escape the world for a little while by looking at it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you. It was great meeting you.
Good meeting you.
Bye, Julia.
Bye.
Bye.